Hello, and welcome to the 60 for 30 project. I'm Xander Miller with Kenosha Public Library. I'm sitting here with Carlos Aguilar. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well today. Got a long day, but it's a fun day. So,
Right.
yeah. So, Carlos, so what area of Kenosha are you from, or what area were you raised
So I grew up by where the old Boys and Girls Club used to be.
in?
And I don't know what side of town that is, but over by Bradford, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where I grew up, pretty much till I was in my early 20s. Yeah.
So you were there until your early 20s?
Yep.
Okay.
So then when I first came here I was born in Belize, and I came here when I was 7 years old, and pretty much in the same area till I was about 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what area in Kenosha are you in now?
Right now I'm over there by Mount Carmel, by the Italian American Club.
Okay.
I bought a house right around the corner from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, over your time here, how have you experienced Kenosha's culture, or what is Kenosha's culture to you?
My experience has been pretty good. It's to me, it's a pretty diverse community with the Hispanics, the black community, and the white community. I've been fortunate to have friends of all ethnicities, and I get along with everybody. So, that experience has been good. Nothing bad really.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, it's been I've had all types of friends. So it's been good. Every culture is a little bit different, and it was a nice experiencing that growing up.
So it sounds like you've experienced a wide range of different cultures as you've been in Kenosha.
Yeah. As I was growing up, one of my best friends lived across the street. He was white, and I was always over there. Going to school, I went to Hispanic school, so I was around a lot of Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved down the block a little bit, and one of my best friends was African American, so I grew up with him for a while. So yeah, a little bit of everything, man. So it's been good. I liked it.
Yeah. How have you seen Kenosha change from your time as a kid to now?
The cell phones and Facebook and all that stuff kind of took over.
Mm-hmm.
From when I was growing up, everybody was outside playing. It was like a very outdoorsy type of upbringing.
Yeah.
Right now, I really don't see too many kids outside. They're social media kind of kids and TikTokers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest difference that I noticed. Even having my kids, they like being indoors. They'd rather be indoors than outside.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a big difference.
Yeah, so electronics, social media, those things have been just a huge change in Kenosha's kind of idea, like what Kenoshans do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. What else has changed since you've been here?
Not too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, since last year when we had the riots and stuff like that, it got a little hectic for a little bit, but pretty much the same. Everything's pretty much been the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you were born in Belize, right?
Yes, sir.
So how was the transition moving from Belize to Kenosha area?
So I was born in Belize. I was pretty young when my grandmother brought me here. I really don't have too much memory. I was kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
But not too big of a transition. They speak English in Belize, and my family is a Spanish-speaking family also.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got here, I knew both languages. I can communicate, So it was pretty good, smooth transition. I really didn't notice anything.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I imagine it's just. I only know how to speak English, so I'm just like sometimes I'm just like I'm like, oh yeah, I just can't communicate sometimes.
No. So I was very fortunate about that.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I knew both. So that helped me out a lot. It still does.
Oh yeah. How has that helped you while being here?
Just different friends that I have. Like I said, the Hispanic. I went to Hispanic school. I had a lot of Hispanic friends, and was able to communicate good with them. And just growing up with different things that I do with business, I can communicate with Hispanics, Americans. This helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine just if someone can come up to you and just start talking in whichever language and you're working it that way.
Yeah, and I'm real fluent in both of them, so it's good. Yeah, it's helped me out.
So you mentioned you went to a Hispanic school. Was that through like K through 12? Was it the whole time?
Pretty much till middle school. When I got into middle school, it wasn't primarily Hispanics. For me, going to school, elementary and middle school, so high school was pretty much well diverse. So yeah.
Remember which of the high schools you went to?
I went to Bradford for high school, and then I went to Washington Middle School.
Okay.
For middle school.
Yeah. How has that changed from going to like a Hispanic school to then Bradford or?
To me, it wasn't that much because, like I said, I've always had different kinds of friends, different ethnicities. I've never been one to be racist or anything like that. So it was a smooth transition. But in high school, it was like different cliques. Hispanics hang around with Hispanics and blacks with blacks and whites with whites. So it wasn't like segregated. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I imagine seeing different people in cliques like that when you've had experiences with everybody. How did that feel?
It was weird, man. You don't want to take sides, but you kind of get put in the position where, all your friends are Hispanic, and you got to choose them, and they want you to choose them. What are you doing having, this kind of friend or whatever? So it was puts a lot of pressure on you, Like you kind of feel closed off a little bit, like you got to choose sides. Yeah, so it puts a lot of pressure growing up as a kid.
Yeah, I can imagine. But from what it sounds like nowadays, you don't experience that.
No. Nowadays, everybody's my friend. You grow up and you mature, so you learn to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much.
So, what types of things would you like to see in Kenosha, whether just event-wise, culture-wise, for people in Kenosha in general?
I like what's going on right now with the different events that are being thrown down by the lake. Different festivals, things of that nature. I feel like that kind of brings the community together. More things to do. Less distractions of kids trying to do something bad or something like that. They can go out and they have things to do, entertain them, so they don't got to find entertainment and doing things around the neighborhood that might not be as good. So I feel that Kenosha's doing really good with that, and I like that. I like bringing my kids out and they have a good time.
Yeah, so community events and such.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
Were those big things for you when you were a kid as well?
Man, no, not that I remember. I remember they used to have the carnival down by the lake, and it was bad. It wasn't controlled. There was always a fight. There was always something going on, man. That was pretty wild. A lot of people fighting. I don't really see that too much now. It's more controlled. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that wouldn't be the greatest experience. You go to a community event, there's like, oh, there's a fight there.
Right, yeah, no, and it always used to happen when I was younger. And it was, it would discourage you from going to stuff like that. You don't want to go out there and just to fight or, have conflict with people. So now it's, I would bring my kids out all the time. I bring them out all the time, and I feel safer. I feel better. Yeah.
It's good that Kenosha feels safe for you right now.
Yeah, to me, yeah. Besides the rioting, the rioting was a little wild, but
Yeah.
once that calmed down, I feel everything's pretty good.
Yeah. How was your experience with the rioting and last, in the
Oh,
last year?
it was pretty crazy because where I live, it was pretty much the center of where everything was going on. So I see the marches and the rioting afterwards, and I'm a couple blocks down from the courthouse, and I would go down there and just see all the disaster, and it was crazy. My kids were scared. Yeah, it was pretty wild. And my girlfriend's car got destroyed, and they like kicked down the windows, and
Oh, no.
yeah, they just totaled the car. I was like, wow, pretty wild, man.
So you were like, you just lived right near where everything was happening.
Yeah, people outside looting and lighting trash cans on fire, and we were just in the middle of it, just like, wow, when is this gonna end? And that went on for a little while, so it was crazy. Pretty intense.
How do you explain something like that with your kids? Because you mentioned they were scared, but how does that experience?
Just keeping them calm. I guess the best thing you can do as a parent is try to keep them safe, keep them inside, and try to explain to them what's going on. We saw a lot of the stuff on TV, so they were following the news and kind of understood, and you just try to break it down, try to explain to them more or less, what's going on, and everything's gonna be good. But it was pretty good, a crazy experience, yeah, especially for the kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can imagine, because I'm guessing that they're stuck at home too. There's nowhere to go. Outside wouldn't have been an option. I can see as a reality there.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, man. Part of Kenosha history right there.
So in a similar vein with all of the past year, even currently, how has COVID-19 affected your experiences in Kenosha?
Well, I feel like the same as it did to everybody. You really couldn't go out, couldn't do much. That led me to do more things as a family. We'd go out jogging a lot, hiking, go out on the canoe, fishing, just more outdoor stuff. It felt more like when I was growing up, where everybody was outside. And we did a lot of that, a lot of it. So I like that. I like that it brought the family together a little bit more, in that sense.
That's curious, because everyone talks about how COVID kept people apart, but for you, it brought people together, working outside, like that kid experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were outside that whole summer, working out. I got stronger. Everything, man. It was good. It was a good experience. It kept us together. I liked it. Yeah. It was good.
So overall, for just you, your family, positive experiences bringing people together like that?
Yeah, it was definitely like a bonding experience. So it was good for the kids and for us.
Okay.
And we try to implement that still, even this year, more outside stuff. I just bought 2 kayaks yesterday, so we're gonna be kayaking a lot, and a lot more outdoor stuff. Yeah,
some things you want to keep from the time you were you were just stuck either indoors or separated from everyone else. You may as well keep some of that stuff.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, the kids enjoy it. Being outside more and at the parks and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. So with with Kenosha as it is currently, and you said you wanted more community events, more people to go out and see each other outside, not just connecting social media.
Right.
What else would you like to see changed or different in Kenosha?
Maybe more police officers, more out there. Really controlling people that are outside, or maybe more things where, I don't know, people doing community service, clean up the place, keep Kenosha cleaner, more things like that, I feel,
Yeah.
Keep the community from looking a mess.
That sounds like, just very community-oriented work and services, sort of.
Right, yeah. I run a boxing program, and I train a lot of athletes. And when you keep, I feel like when you keep like, say, let me see the word to use, structure and discipline, things turn out a little bit better. Tend to control your kids, and the focus stays more on what you need to do.
And so you'd like to see more structure.
More structure, more discipline, things like that. Keep people from straying and doing, things that they're not supposed to be doing. Yeah.
So, if there was something you'd like to say to just Kenosha community at large, or Kenosha leadership, or even just something we missed in the conversation, maybe we can talk more, what would that be?
Reaching out to kids growing up, be a mentor, find things or events or sponsorships or something to keep kids busy, keep them in sports, keep them doing something to pave a pathway for them. I think kids, when they're young, they're they're moldable, and I feel like kids always look to somebody to look up to, and if we have more role models like that, it'll show kids that life can be better than what it is for them, or they can achieve stuff. Me myself being a mentor. I've mentored kids that had no confidence, had no discipline, to kids that have achieved stuff that in their wildest dreams they never thought they could have. So I think more of that, more of building structures and guiding kids the right way. Like, kids are the future, so I feel like if you plan for your future, looking better in the community, you got to start with the young ones. So
it almost sounds like you're the ideas you'd like to see are like building pathways.
Pathways, yes.
So
I said, I started coaching one of my students. His name is Luis Alvarado. When he was 16 years old, he was a 300-pound kid, no confidence. He was bullied his whole life, and I took him in, and I told him if he stayed disciplined, that I was going to help him mold his life. And he really looked up to me, and he believed me. And then we started working on him, and he became an Olympic alternate. He fought at the Olympic trials.
Wow.
He lost 100 pounds in a year. After 2 years, nobody even recognized him as the same guy. He looked different. His attitude was different. He's seen all the United States, through his boxing and his achievements, fighting overseas, representing the United States team. And it was just one kid that I really focused on, and it made a world of difference. And I feel it can be done for a lot of kids, and I train a lot of kids that look up to me as a father figure, and they do stuff they never thought they could have done, with a little bit of guidance and encouragement, man. It goes a long way.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that mentorship, that guidance, creating those ways for kids to succeed, that build that confidence. That sounds like part of what you're all about.
Oh yeah, and it shows, and it's been proven that kids that really get that attention and that positive reinforcements, they do a lot better. I've seen from kids that don't even talk at the table with their parents to training, discipline, hard work, and a couple months later the parents are like, what happened? This is a totally different kid. you know what I'm saying, he's talking, he's confident, you know, so it's possible, and I've seen it firsthand, and I believe we can start making changes. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So focus on those kids.
Focus on the young, because there's a lot of young just looking for somebody to guide them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't have guidance, and you know, guidance will take you a long way.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, Carlos, thank you so much
Oh
for
man,
talking
I
about
appreciate
that.
it, man, and thank you guys for having me in. It was a pleasure.
It's no problem.
Yes, sir.